Okay, in today's video, we will see how we can select, drop, and reposition variable or variables in our data set. For this actually task, we need a dplyr package, and we require this dplyr package either using require or library command we call to the action. And we have to see like there are a lot of R built-in data sets. To see how many data sets are built in R, we run data command, and by running this we can see how many data sets are built in R base function. There are 100 plus data sets. Then for today, we will see only like empty cars, which we have been working previously. We call empty cars data. Here we can see it is there, and we would like to see dimensions of empty cars data. Empty cars data has 32 rows and 11 columns. Then if we look at the head of this data set, like the first 6 observations, we can see like variables of the data set, and here the row names of this data set. Then from this data set, if we are interested to select the first variable, mile per gallon, we give like the select function from dplyr package, and then data set that we are working with, and the variable that we are interested to select. In this case, we are interested to select mile per gallon, and here is mile per gallon is selected. For example, if I want to assign this for the variable my data, I have got data set here containing 32 observation. Of course, I didn't make any change on observation, but only on variable, the first variable as selected, and then head of the data command give me like only this variable which is available. In other case, if I interested to select like the first 4 variables up to HP, horse power of the car, I going to use like the semicolon symbol here because they are consecutive variables, and I give data that I'm working with, and then I see these variables. Actually, I printed in this case only the data, and I run this variable, and if I would like to see head, it is selected only like the first 4 variables that I'm interested with. This can be then also using select, like using the pipe function from dplyr. We have to give data that we are working with, then we have to pipe this data to the variables that we going to select. Here we already gave data here, and then no need to give data inside the bracket. We give only variables, and then at the same time we can print head in this case. And here you can see that the same thing was already performed using this command as well. Then we have also like use the select by ignoring the other variables. This is actually the minus sign next to each variable is to exclude these variables. While we are excluding these variables, we are including the rest variables from the data set. I mean, so if we run this, we can see the same variables. We included this by excluding the other rest variables. This can be possible only if our data set is containing small number of variables, and if we know them, if our data is very big data, it's recommended to select the variable that we include than we exclude from the data set. On the other hand, we select the variables by giving the start letters, like 2 start letters. For example, the variables that start with cy and di, we know that like the cylinder starts with cy and displacement starts with di, and then by giving start letters, we can select these 2 variables. For example, if we would like to continue this, we can select as many variables as possible. But still, this can be possible only like a small data set we are interested. On the other hand, this can be performed also giving only like the last variables that the variable end with, for example, YL and SP. For example, displacement ends with SP and this ends with YL. Then this actually enable us to perform the same function. On the other hand, like the variables contain cy, we can say like use contain function or match, actually match with this can be selected, or containing these letters. Any variable containing these letters can be selected. Still, this is possible for only small data sets. And I think if we have large data set, that cannot be possible, or somehow it's not a feasible way to do such a thing if we have a very big data case. So, for example, to change the variable location, for example, if I would like to bring displacement to the first of my data set, originally my data set, I can print my data set here, and my data set contain the first variable is a mile per gallon, and if I would like to bring the first displacement, I select displacement at the first place, and everything else is next to the displacement in this case. So displacement came here at the first, and the other thing remain as the same. Only position is changed. On the other hand, also like using everything, I can bring displacement to the last of my data set, last column. So displacement pushed to the last column of my data set from the first position to the last position in this case. Then the other one is to drop. Actually, I have shown you in the command above. Actually, here using the minus sign, we can exclude this variable from our data set. For example, if I would like to exclude displacement and HP from my data set, I can use minus sign next to them, and under the function select, and pipe operator is only pipe from like everything in data set can be operated in the next function, and linked with the next function is connecting the first command with the next command, and it runs every command like one after the other command, actually in this case. So we can see how this can be done. So this is all for today. Thank you for watching.